Corey from FlightFins here. Today we're going to be installing a GT Flight Fender system and the fins. So let's get started. First thing you want to do is install the fins onto the fender loosely, and then later on you can tighten them up, but it's much easier if you install the fins first. The 5/8 go in the bottom, the inch goes in the top. Make note of your stance. You definitely want to install the fins, on the front side of your toe, and then obviously opposite for both feet. You can always switch them around, but you want to make sure that fins look like this. When installing the lock nuts, you want to make sure just to lightly thread them. Only a few threads should be able to still move the fin. That way when you install it, you can adjust it to your foot and then tighten it up. Once you got the fins loosely mounted onto the fenders, we're going to install the front fender. And you're going to take your splash guard, and if you fit the saddles over these clips, just slide right in. If the front fits on a little bit tight, just kind of get one side somewhat mounted, and then the other side should just pop in. After that, you can go ahead and put the trim pieces in. The trim pieces slot in, and then the clips hold it on the rail temporarily. Once you've got the trim pieces on, go ahead and take bolts for one side. Again, like the fins, just loosely put them in because that's going to help the install of the other side. The longer bolts go in the foot pad side, only a few threads for each screw. Once you've got this side loosely installed with the trim pieces on, take the other fender and fit these slots into the trim pieces. And if you kind of push the fender back, it should slide into place. You want to make sure that both sides are down. And if you feel like it's kind of still sitting up a little bit, you may have to apply some pressure to the edge and push it into place. But you should feel it seat down, and then you should feel confident to install the screws. Once you have the fenders seated into the rails, go through and tighten the bolts. We want to make sure you're using a drill that has a torque setting. You never want to be over torquing the, so either do it by hand or have a drill that has a torque setting. Once you've got the flight fenders seated into the rails, you can go through and tighten the screws optimally in a crisscross pattern, and also optimally with a drill that has a torque setting. Or if you're doing it by hand, you'll want to use the, only a few turns on the strongest torque side. And there we have it, the GT FullFlight system installed. And like any system installed on a board, you should probably test it first, so that's next. Once you get the fender system on the board, make sure to go back and tighten the fins once you've adjusted them to your preferred stance and height, and then continue to send. Once you've installed the flight fenders onto the board and tightened them down, you can take the FlightShield, and the holes fit into the hooks on the back of the flight fender. And then if you bend the shield and fit it into the other side, you'll kind of feel it click in and confirm that the shield is installed.